9, 8, 7. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the show. It's fight day. It's Saturday. The OCF main event starts right now. What's up, Ciez? How you doing, man? Welcome to the program.
I'm good, Ami. How are you doing? You pretty hyped for this?
Man, I'm stoked for this. Yo, I just got a little Steam notification. Kotu.org has started the OCF main event. We're so right on time. How y'all doing out in chat? It's a pleasure to have you guys here. We're excited. We warmed it all up a little bit with the tailgate party. The lead artist who created the Operation Charlie Fox posters in the chat, TM Dutchie. How you doing, man? It took so many staff to bring this all together that it is a pleasure to speak on behalf of all of the members of Kotu.org and, of course, the players and fans and the key contributors. So many, hundreds of contributors who pitched in to raise this amazing prize pool. We have $5,312.24 to give away, CS.
That's a lot of money. That's the most money in Company Heroes history, right?
That is correct. We just barely nudged by Sunday Night Fight Season 5, which to this day was the biggest event at $5,005. So now we're past that by a good couple of $100, and we'll be looking forward to giving all that money away on Monday after the grand finals. This is the first day of a 3-day event. It's a double elimination bracket where the 12 competitors that remain are going to fight it out in best of 3s. We're going to have 4 series for you today on this channel. We got other guys streaming. They're going to be bringing you other series with the other players. Everything is going to be broadcasted. You might have to 4-screen this. And after 4 rounds today, tomorrow we're going to have another 3 rounds, I think. Tomorrow we're going to start with the winners bracket finals tomorrow at this time. So make sure you guys have cleared your schedule for Sunday for a real Sunday night fight. We're going to kick it off with the winners bracket finals. So, Ciez, man, you and I, we cast the finals of Dr. Vox, didn't we?
That's right, we did.
And that's now almost 9 months ago.
It's hard to believe it's been that long. It was really about 9 months ago?
Yeah, man, that was December, you know. That was our Christmas event. And it's been a long time since we had a really big prize pool for a Company of Heroes event. And, man, so much has changed. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what's changed since December to today?
Pretty much everything, I think. I mean, the biggest change is probably having the Brits in the game.
Yeah.
For better or worse, I'll let the fans decide for that. But I mean, Relic has reworked, the way flamers work, the way explosive effects have worked. The way howitzers have worked, the way some off-maps have worked, the way some infantry have worked. I mean, it's really, they've made a lot of progress in the 9 months. Most of it for the better. There are a few things I think that the community knows about this patch that are a little bit wonky, but, you know, we trudge on, and we've made a few bans as necessary to protect the integrity of the tournament, I think.
Yeah! Huzzah! We're going to trudge on. The patches are coming in hot and fast, man. We had a big, the Brits hit. So that came with a huge patch, brand new army joining. Now we have 5 armies in Company of Heroes. We have 3 allied armies. We have the British, we have the Americans, and we have the Soviets. And we have 2 Axis armies. They're both Germans. One of them's the Wehrmacht, which is the first army that was released with Company of Heroes 2. And the other one is the Oberkommando West, which is the Western Front army that came when the Americans came, probably over a year ago now. And so the Brits have just joined the field. We got a brand new map that came with the Brits, great 1v1 map called Arnhem Checkpoint. Perhaps we'll see some games on it today. It's part of our tournament pool. You know it's a good map, Ciez, when it goes immediately into a tournament.
Yeah, and I think most of the people that were involved with picking the maps all really liked it. It's got some really brutal cutoffs in a central city, so it makes for constant action, constant cutoffs to kind of gameplay we like to see in tournaments.
As a fan, one of the things I'm most curious about right now is which maps these competitors will pick. Because unlike the Open Quali tournament where we told you which maps to play on, in this tournament, before they go in, every player gets to veto from a list of 7 maps. So, I mean, just the fact that we could have 7 maps on the list is pretty amazing. I don't think we were ever in that kind of situation in Ko 1. But in Ko 2, we have 7 maps that we feel are tournament worthy. So the players right now, Cruzz and KoreanArmy, who we're going to see on Sunday Night Fights tonight. Let's see, I got to get their names into my overlay soon. But they're right now probably picking and banning the maps. And so, they'll get rid of 6. They'll get rid of 3 maps each, and then the map that remains will be the map for the entire match, for the entire best of 3. And then they have to pick their factions. And so one of the things that I'm very curious, actually, about is which maps will go through. What do you think, Ciez?
I don't know either of these players super well, so it's hard to say. I hope to see Chladni Firma Summer, though, just because I think it's my favorite 1v1 map to watch and to play on. So if I had to go with my heart, that's the map I would pick.
Chladni Firma. Well, we've heard from Relic that is the most played map, which also tells us that it's the map that's least, checked, least banned in Automatch, right? So everybody plays on Chladni Firma because that's the most played map. So that gives us a good sense of player preference. But tournament's a whole different ball game because these guys might actually counterpick each other. If they see a player with a certain playstyle that they feel will be strong on a certain map, they might, it might be their favorite map, but they still might ban it because they think the other guy's really good at it. So, a lot of different factors could go into what we wind up playing on today. And so they're doing all of that now. And actually, I haven't even launched my game yet, Ciez, so I better get in there because, KoreanArmy took a little while to show up. He had a bunch of Korean characters in his name, and I think people weren't finding him, but he did show up on time. So he and Cruzz they found one another. They went through the map picks, and they could start any moment. So let's just go in game. One thing, with the live observer modes, we got to make sure to get on the bandwagon, right? We're the little caboose on the train. We got to hop on the train because once it leaves the station, man, it's out, it's gone. We got to get on it. So, are you in game looking around?
Yeah, and I actually just saw Cruzz boot up. And I've been refreshing the public game list to make sure that I don't miss anything.
All right, cool. You keep me posted. There are a couple other things I'd like to show the fans. Like we can look at Cruzz's player card and KoreanArmy's player card. And, of course, we can look at the brackets. There's a lot of other great matchups going on right now that are being broadcasted on other channels. So if you're interested in the other matchups, don't leave us. Keep watching us, but watch them too, man. Boot up there. There's all sorts of little apps that can do multi-twitch. You can break your monitor into 4 squares, and you can try to just watch all the action that's going on. It's going to be so hot and heavy, though, man. There's no way you're going to be able to keep up with it all. All right, so I'm in game now too, and we can look into live games real quick and just see as you get a little sneak peek of my new overlay, my friends' games. Just make sure Cruzz and KoreanArmy haven't started yet. Okay, these are all... Okay, DevM's game is up. Vindicare X's game is up. I am excited, Ciez! Before we go over to the game, let's just check out the player cards real quick. Right here is our #1 seed of the Open Qualification Tournament. This is Cruzz. He is a player from Finland. He was a member of the All-Star game. You might remember, if you watched last Saturday, his epic journey of the Jagdpanzer Fear. Were you able to check out Game 1 of the All-Star game, Ciez?
I think I was still at work whenever it was on. I feel like I caught the end of Game 2, or the second half of Game 2.
Cruzz had a Jagdpanzer that curved all the way around the map and then got in a ton of trouble and then wound its way backwards, really crazy micro, wound its way, with a little bit of hiding here and there, and with some smoke bombs dropped by his teammate Love Nest. They were trying to save this heroic Jagdpanzer. But anyway, Cruzz was rocking the OKV in that game. Him and his teammate Love Nest, they were on the Team Carotene, and they actually lost to the War Penguins, who were led by Von Ivan and his mates. So that was a 2-0 in that All-Star game. That was a lot of fun. So here's Cruzz's player card. Cruzz is known, of course, for filling the minds of KO2ers and Twitch viewers with his excellent statistic analysis. Okay, I just got a tip from Marcus. They're going to play Crossing in the Woods. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, it's not my favorite 1v1 map. It's
Wow.
nice because it's mirrored, but I feel like it's not very balanced, unfortunately.
Wow, interesting. You know, I was expecting to see a lot of like Angeville and Arnhem and, like you said, Kolodny Ferma Summer. I mean, all of these are in. You know, we got Samoski Winter in there. We got Faymanville Approach in there. And Crossing in the Woods, I didn't expect to see, but here we go, Crossing in the Woods. So that's cool, man. That's something different. That's something I didn't see at all last week. So great. Excellent. It's a map that was originally designed by Uncle Sam, who is a community member and a part of KO2.org. He was actually one of our admins and our lead artist for a long time when the game first launched. He helped design the way the KO2.org website looks. Uncle Sam is a very skilled designer, and he's a physicist. And the reason we haven't seen him lately is because he's busy doing physics stuff and earning some bank. He's got a PhD in physics, he does.
Wow, I did not know that. I would never suspected him. He did such a great job on Crossing the Woods. I thought he was, you know, did some kind of graphic design or like game level design type stuff. Never would have guessed he was a PhD physicist. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it is awesome. Of course, Crossing the Woods was originally Bois du Châtelet, which we used in our Sunday Night Fight Season 4. Now, that's a tournament that DevM won in the end, and we used Uncle Sam's custom map, Bois du Châtelet. At that point, it was somewhere in Normandy, but when KO2 launched, he ported it over, and now it's on the Eastern Front, and now it's known as Crossing in the Woods. So that will be the map we'll be seeing, and these will be the players. Cruzz, you can see his stats. His best rank is actually Brits. He's 5th in Brits. I wonder if we'll see some Brits. We didn't see a lot of Brits in the open quali. We saw mostly Soviets. We saw a lot of Ver, and we saw a lot of OKV. We saw a lot of USF, too, actually. But we didn't see a lot of Brits. Why do you think that is right now, Ciez?
Well, in the open qualifier, we had to ban the Vickers because there was that bug that would give it literally infinite range. And so that was kind of a very important unit in their arsenal. And the Crocodile, I think, is still banned because it's a little bit ridiculous. And so when you take out kind of 2 of their core units, what you leave the faction with is somewhat incomplete and then, you know, rambles. And so it just doesn't really perform as well as it could.
Yeah, when you have to take out a tier 1 MG. That's, you know, that was huge. Everybody felt really bad about that. We didn't want to do it, but we had to. But thankfully, the game's been hotfixed. The Vickers bug has been fixed. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some more Brits. Let's look at Korean Army's player card. You can see some Korean characters there. Let me just refresh it. I think that's why people couldn't find him, because they were looking for the name he signed up with. I think he's since updated it to his Soldiers of Liberty tag. That's SOL Korean Army, so that made him a little bit easier to find. So you can see he's 21st in Brits, 54th 1v1. His 1v1 stats are kind of average, but this is a player that goes way back to KO1. I mean, this guy's a legend. You know, like I was showing in the Tailgate Party show, that he defeated Tomitoma, aka Contador, 3-0 in SNF Season 3. That was maybe 4 years ago, you know? So this is a KO1 legend. He's got a lot of experience. He's played in a lot of tournaments. Nerves of Steel. You know, he's playing from Korea, so it's midnight his time. But I don't think people should worry about that, because it was midnight his time last week on Sunday when he played for 10 hours, you know, from midnight till 10 a.m. and qualified for this event. So hopefully that won't be any factor against him. How are we looking? Have you checked in game recently? Can we find the game yet?
Yeah, I'm actually already loaded in, waiting for it to
You're loaded
start.
in? Oh my god,
yeah,
all right. Well, come on in, fight
here,
fans. Oh, do we? We have a delay? 6 minutes still?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
6 minutes right now. I think they started at like 9.
Okay, I see it, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Look, I can even cheat and get the colors. Cruzz is going to be yellow on the left, and he's playing Soviets. And Korean Army is going to be blue. Wait, blue and yellow. That can't be. All right, I thought this was a color preview, but it can't be these two. So we'll have to wait and see what colors they are. But I'm pretty sure Cruzz is going to be Soviets. Korean Army is going to be Wehrmacht. So let's load that up, and I will fix my overlay. And while that is loading, Ciez and I can rap at you guys some more. How's everybody doing? What's up? Are we featured on the Twitch homepage yet? I don't know when that's going to kick in, but that's something that is planned, and hopefully we'll get a lot of new viewers. We'll be able to introduce this great game to a wider audience. Contrary to what some might believe, we are growing. We never expected this event to be so successful. We have raised over $5,300. We were hoping to raise $1,000, Ciez. We have already done 5 times better than we ever imagined we would.
Yeah, it's really been beautiful to watch, too. I think in a lot of ways it's brought the community together, and I think Relic is taking notice of that, and I think it's pushing them to try and fix more stuff faster for us.
Yeah, I mean, we could just see, you know, they were under a lot of pressure last week to push out this hot fix. They, you know, because there were more changes than just a few things. I mean, there were like significant balance changes that went in there, and they fixed. You know, we only banned the Vickers and the Crush with the glider, but there were a whole bunch of other bugs that they fixed. You know, that we didn't even address in our tournament. We didn't feel that those were significant enough to ban. But they fixed a whole bunch of stuff in their hotfix, and you know they planned to do it Monday or Tuesday. Wound up doing it Thursday, so you could just tell that they were trying to cram in, you know, testing. And you know, I'm sure the guys at Relic are just as excited about OCF as we all are. You know, how much fun would it be to see a game that you helped design, that you worked on this big stage in front of all these players, and watch sort of all these fans, and watch the best players in the world duke it out, you know, on your game. I think we're going to give them the best feedback we ever possibly could in the next 3 days.
I think it's going to be the best KO2 games we've ever seen, too. In just terms of raw skill, like, people were asking me last night, you know, who do I think is going to win? And it's just impossible to predict because,
totally.
Like, I don't think any one of these guys is, you know, miles ahead of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, there's no clear favorite. I mean, you could say maybe Jeslyn. I looked at the poll and the, you know, the vote with your head. Who do you think will win? Jeslyn actually kind of won that poll by a significant margin. So and you know he's just kind of resting on past laurels. You know, like he won Dr. Vox and he won Alienware Arena EU. But those were all in 2014. You know, in 2015. It's been a long time, and you know the meta's changed, the players have changed. You know, people are coming into the scene. This big money has drawn players out of the woodworks. You know, like the call went out. Yo, anybody who's played Company of Heroes ever, you got to show up for this. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes and 46 seconds. I'm all loaded in. Let's see. Cruzz is going to be blue Soviets, and Korean Army is going to be red Wehrmacht. So we got, so to speak, vanilla Company of Heroes 2 matchups. Let me just get all set here. Let me fix my overlay. They were going to start in 2.5 minutes, so bear with us as we wait for the OBS mode delay to kick in. I said Cruzz was going to be red Soviets, right? Wow, he's actually correct. And then Korean Army is blue Wehrmacht. Is that right?
Mine's backwards, but I think it's fine. I mean,
did I goof it up? Hold on.
Well, the most important thing is.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It's backwards. Okay, Cruzz blue Soviets. Okay.
Roger.
Let me fix. Gotta get the overlay straight, or we'll hear about it in chat for the next half an hour. Okay, how's it look, fellas? You guys got my back? Everybody out in Twitch got my back? How's it look? Does it look right? It has to look right, or we're not gonna be happy about it. Dingo Dank is here, Corson 2. What's up, guys? Gaming Bro 599, Swift Saver, one of our referees, who we appreciate greatly, is here in the chat. It's live. Are you guys going to be like right with us watching in game as well? You know, you could sync up very easily because once this goes live, Ciez and I are going to unpause at like 5 seconds, right, Ciez? That's what we'll do. That's the plan.
I think that's a good plan. Yes.
All right. We'll both pause at 5, and then you could actually sync up with us, and you could listen to our cast and control the camera and watch anything you choose to watch. You could go right in game and join us. Almost 1K viewers. Thank you for the tip off, Mikhail Joe. We want to actually, you know what, Ciez? We're going after the big record this weekend. Do you know what the big record is?
We get the most ever? I don't know exactly what it is now. Over like 1,300 maybe for last week.
That's nothing, man. Yeah, that we're gonna break that. Rest assured. You know, we're already at 1K right now, but the big record was set over 2 years ago at our Company of Heroes 2 beta show. It was like me and Yoink casting, Twister and Daniel D, a 2v2. There was a Marcus versus Cepha game. I don't know if you remember that show, but that show was 2.5 years ago, right before the launch. It was our KO2 beta show. We had 2,800 viewers. So that is the mark that we're trying to bust this weekend.
I think that's pretty ambitious, but I hope we make it. I think we could.
I expect you guys to help us bust that, man. Call your friends, call Razor's mom, call whoever it takes. I want to see more than 2.8K for the finals. We're going after 3K. Ciez, they are in game. They are starting to roll. I am paused at 5 seconds. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm also paused at 5.
Let's get some claps in the chat. Are you guys ready to rumble? Here we go. We're going to unpause in 3, 2, 1. Unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are we all nice and synced?
We're perfectly in sync.
How are you set for fan noises, Ciez? You knew this would happen, right?
Yeah. I was trying to think of something better than the drum roll, but I don't know if I could come up with anything. I might just have to go with the drum roll.
I'm going to send you into the kitchen to grab some pots and pans if necessary. Do you have any noise-making devices of any kind?
I have a guitar at my parents' house, but I don't think that's very good for hype. It's just an acoustic guitar.
That depends on how well you can play it.
Not very well.
All right, let's kick this thing off in earnest. Fighting out of the northern corner of Uncle Sam's, crossing on the woods. It's our #1 seed from the Open Qualification Tournament from Finland in the blue trunks, playing the Soviets. Cruzz! I like that. Just pound your desk. It's so easy. I don't know why that was so hard for Loveness. In the southern corner of Crossing in the Woods, he's got that OCF flair. There's the KO2.org decal on the HQ. You knew you were going to have to suffer through some zooms in an AmiObs cast. Wearing the red trunks, playing from Korea. I got Ciez laughing. I could see it on the Skype cam. It's our KO1 veteran. It's midnight his time, but don't think that's going to slow him down. Playing the Wehrmacht, Korean Army! All right, we are officially kicked off. The OCF main event is underway, and let me tell you, it feels good. Talk to me, Ciez. What are we looking at for builds between this classic Soviet versus Wehrmacht matchup?
So far, Cruzz is opening with a pretty standard 3 conscript style opening, and they're just kind of avoiding each other right now, capping up the map, each establishing control of their side. KoreanArmy going with a pretty standard double Gren with 1 MG so far. It'll be interesting to see if KoreanArmy is going to go for a sniper from here, because they're pretty powerful on this map, and I've seen a lot of people opening double Gren 1MG sniper recently, or if he's just going to keep up spamming some Grens and maybe go close air support and get a whole bunch of LMGs, which are also really strong on this map.
Oh my god, information overload! Let's talk a little bit about the commanders that they have available to them. Cruzz has Lend-Lease, Shock Rifle, and Mechanized Support. What do you think of those?
I think that the ISU is really good on this map, but I think the KV-8 this patch is a little bit bonkers, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he brings in some KV-8s this match.
Okay, and KoreanArmy playing the Wehrmacht has close air support, CAS, Fear It, Lightning War, and Mechanized Assault. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Yeah, so most people in the community don't like CAS. I know KoreanArmy is actually a pretty big fan of it. I think most of the times I've seen him play, he's been using that. I'm a pretty big fan of Lightning War. That JU-87, the anti-tank strafe, is crazy good. And of course the Tiger got a buff this patch, so I don't think you could ever count out the Tiger.
You know I love to see Tiger tanks, man. That's my favorite tank in the game. I just had the privilege to go to Munster, where there's a tank museum, and witness one firsthand, up close and personal. And I tell you, you never fully understand how massive these iron beasts are until you stand right in front of one.
I'm pretty jealous. I would love to go to one of those tank museums one day.
Yeah, Bovington is the best. You know, if you ever go to the south of England, make sure you pay a visit to the Bovington Tank Museum. You will never forget it. Big Gren matchup, 2 Grens and an MG. Wow, these conscripts were sticking in that green cover, just sucking it up for a long time, but eventually they realized that they are just outgunned. They're going to have a bit of a tough retreat. We have early flamers from Cruzz. They're going to chase off some pioneers and try to burn some some grenadiers. The whole Russian army is approaching the front, but Korean Army's got his MG pointing right at him.
MG suppresses one of those con squads. Cruzz's flamers did a really good job of forcing those grunts out of green cover and making them retreat. I think Cruzz might be able to get the flank on the machine gun, but Korean Army is already packing it up. Very, very nice MG micro there. Very good game awareness.
Yeah, he noticed that Cruzz started to shift his forces to the left to try to harass some of these points. Cruzz originally considered harassing this ammo point, but now has decided against it. In fact, he's just hot-tailing and running out of there. He even ooh-rawed to try to go for this corner fuel. Now, the whole Wehrmacht army is chasing him, and we know how long it takes to lower and raise those high fuel points, so it's going to be tough for him to even white it, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it, especially because Korean Army can just put one of his Gren's feet in the circle to neutralize the cap rate.
And Cruzz realizes this. He garrisons the house, and I think now he's just going to stick it out as long as he can, maybe collect a bit of XP and then bug out of there. But Cruzz is also working in the center. He's got these combat engineers that really went diving forward to try to grab that point right out in front of Korean Army's base, but these little pioneers fought him off. They weren't having it. Cruzz is losing skirmishes all over the place. This is a really interesting time in the game because these guys' micros are so good that they very rarely have to retreat. Like, not, us mere mortals, we wind up retreating squads very early all the time, but these guys have such great game awareness that they're able to soft retreat their squads and kind of backpedal out of situations. And what that means is that you get a lot of infantrymen on the field at about this time, about the 5-minute mark, where they're all really hurt and they really need triage. And now, like, it's just death everywhere. You get these really low health squads battling against one another, and then it's at this point that the players have to be super careful not to lose a squad.
Yep, and speaking of that triage, I just checked Korean Army's medics just finished, and Cruzz has medics back in his base as well. And you were saying that Cruzz was losing skirmishes, which is true, but the good news is he still has 2 VPs controlled, and by putting pressure on Korean Army side of the map, he inherently protects all of his investment on the right.
Cruzz picked a doctrine, and it's not a KV-8 doctrine. Can you believe it? He's gone Lend-Lease and brings out a Dushka? What do you think of that?
The Dushka is strong this patch. I'm not as huge of a fan of the M4C, but I know that it's been a very, very popular pick recently. Just kind of having the five command point command track, or sorry, half track, and the Sherman that you can call in. You can do some really nice, well-timed pushes with both of those units.
So talk a little bit about the M5. This was a unit that you can upgrade to an M17. It gets the quad gun, and before the Brits hit, this was one of the strongest units in the Soviet arsenal. Can you talk a little bit about how it got kind of mini-nerfed?
Yeah, so one of the major things they did was they reduced the penetration on the main guns, so it doesn't really just drive up and instantly kill light vehicles like it used to. It's still good against them, but not nearly what it used to be. I believe they also nerfed the moving accuracy, so it can't just gun down retreating squads over and over again like it used to be able to.
Okay, so we'll have to see that. And then, of course, there's you're not allowed to reinforce on the run. Like if you upgrade to quad, it no longer is a forward reinforce point. So that's a huge difference as well. So we'll see if he even calls that in. We'll have to wait and see about that. Cruzz is making a nice push into this cutoff. You can see he's got Korean Army completely cut off. When the sectors are flashing, that means the resources aren't going in. So this fuel on the left is not getting back to Korean Army. So he'll be quick to reconnect it. Now he's all connected again, and it's very interesting. I doubt he expected this early Dushka, and Cruzz was pretty efficient at using it to get a good push. Now he's kind of on the back foot though.
Yeah, and he might have chosen to get the Dushka just because Korean Army didn't really have a hard counter to it, but he did just build a mortar in response to the Dushka, so we will have some indirect fire to try and help push that Dushka out of entrenched positions.
It would be real smart of Cruzz to move now because he's actually set up close to a mine and that he laid himself. And if a mortar gets a wayward shot, there are mines everywhere. You guys got to check the map. One of them just got swept. Wow, good on Korean Army. There were mines in the center road, and Korean Army just swept them.
Yeah, it's a very common mine spot, but yeah, it's very good to see Korean Army getting those early sweepers. He's probably also scared of demo charges on this map because, especially the mid-VP, it's very easy for your squad to clump up in all the green cover around that mid-VP and just get blown up.
Uh-oh! First mistake! I gotta ring my bells for that flamer going down, and now we have a Gren squad that not only has an LMG, but they have a flamer as well. Look at these guys, Terminator right here, and then we got the burner man behind him. That's gonna be a wicked squad. They can fight close, they can fight far.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see them be Vet 3 this game.
Yeah.
I have a hunch.
Is it too soon to name them? I mean, what badasses with a light machine gun and a flamethrower. Good grief. These guys are wicked. Here they are, decapping the points. I'm going to hotkey them on 1 so we can keep an eye on those guys. We also have a 222 out from KoreanArmy. It's chasing off Cruzz's machine gun. KoreanArmy looking pretty comfortable in this opening.
His 222 is gaining him a good bit of ground. He's able to harass the right now and taking out that flamethrower. You know, not only did he take it out, he picked it up on one of his, best combat squads.
Yeah, that was a big win. Cruzzy was just in too deep on the fuel, and maybe he forgot about all that wire that was there, and he had to run the long way to retreat. Oh, the 222 hits a mine.
The mine.
This is probably it. Yep, and he's got 18 nades already upgraded. Cruzzy will finish off the 222. That's a good win. He's got to get these conscripts out of there, though. He doesn't want to lose the vet. Down to 1 man. Oh my goodness, he's able to clear the MG, but it's instantly remanned by KoreanArmy. And now we have
the last thing you want to do is give conscripts a machine gun or an MG42.
We have this killer squad here. I'm just going to call him Terminator for now. The Terminator squad is just laying into conscripts as they retreat. These guys micro and multitasking is so fantastic. While all that was going on, there's been action on the right-hand side. Dushka's reinforced. He's going to hold the middle. These conscripts and combat engineers are probably going to chase these Grens away from the right. So if Cruzzy's interested in fuel, that fuel will be available to him. KoreanArmy's going to just be as obstinate as he can, though. He's going to hop in this house. Now, this is dangerous. You always have to judge when can you survive the retreat. How long can you hang out in the green cover that the house provides and still survive the retreat? Look at Cruzzy prioritizing fighting to capping. He's going to get his whole conscript squad behind that green cover of that truck and see if he can work on these 3 Grens in the house.
And pretty soon, just see Cruzz has hit 6 CP, and it looks like he's banking for that M5 half-track assault group. KoreanArmy does not have a pack out at all, and he's still a little bit shy of his Stuggy, which could counter the M5. So we'll see if Cruzz can get a really nice push right when his M5 hits.
These Grens in this house are danger low. They're going to hop out a sort of side door, backpedal around, and look for a nice retreat path. Cruzzy won't be able to get him. He wanted to. And now it's like they traded spots. Now Cruzzy's in the house, and the Grens are fighting those guys. Meanwhile, action in the center. Cruzzy actually went for a second Dushka machine gun. What do you think of that build?
I think it's good. He's seen 5 Gren squads from KoreanArmy, and so I think he just wants the extra Dushka to keep those LMGs at bay.
And we do have the... Whoa, they dropped their flamer.
The flamer dropped.
They gave it back as they were retreating. That was unexpected. I did not expect that to happen. So Cruzzy recaptures his flamer. That's a big turn, right as the Stug comes out. But sorry, Stug, you're too late. That flamer weapon has already been stolen and is already on its way back to the base. Now, how's Cruzzy going to deal with this Stug?
Well, he doesn't have a Ciez, and all the mines, I think, are either swept or have been hit. So he's going to be in a little bit of trouble, especially if he wanted to bank for that M5. He's going to have to pick up at least 1 Ciez gun, or else he'll be pinned in his base within the next minute.
Tough retreat for these conscripts on the right. They will barely escape the fire of these grenadiers. And, okay, he gave the flamethrower back, but I think KoreanArmy's pretty comfortable. I mean, look at Cruzzy's army. He's got 2 decent conscript squads and 2 machine guns, but the Ciez anti-tank gun is only halfway built now, and he's got some reinforcing to do. And his map control is falling by the wayside. He's now triple capped.
Yeah, and the Stuggy wiped that retreating con squad, I think, on his very first shot into the game. That was a bit unfortunate for Cruzz.
Ooh, I didn't catch that. Thanks for mentioning that. That Stuggy is in tip-top shape. He knows he is not countered at the moment. 5 kills on the mortar, no vet yet, but they're getting their licks in here and there.
Yeah, they're doing what they're there for, and KoreanArmy actually planting a teller where Cruzz's first mine was, or right in that same area.
Oh,
and
I gotta
Cruzz,
see if
he does have
spots it.
sweepers now.
Oh, he might. If he was looking, he might have spotted it. I could see the Pio on his knee just for a second, so he might have an idea. Although he might have missed it as well. There is this mine that the Stug is getting close to. You can see sort of the right of that land bridge, and now the Ziz gun is out. And boy, Cruzz, you better protect the Ziz gun. Look at the Grenadiers might be able to dodge the shot of the MG by getting behind that shack, but they don't even want to mess with it. They're just going to retreat.
These VPs are ticking down really fast for Cruzz. KoreanArmy put another teller over near the mid, to the left of the mid VP. He's sweeping Cruzz's mine over there. So it's going to be some nasty surprises if Cruzz isn't able to sweep those tellers when he wants to bring his M4C in.
Yeah, he lit up the mines that are by the ammo, but he chose not to deal with them. He must have noticed them. But
yeah, I think he didn't want to run to that MG there.
His sweepers are leading the way. That's, you know, this is pro play right here. Always lead with sweepers, particularly when you have a new valuable fuel-based unit out. You don't want him hitting mines and getting dead. So a pack from KoreanArmy as well. He's fully prepared. And another Stug. Wow, what an army he has. KoreanArmy with a big army.
Well played, Ami. And yeah, if you look at the supply, KoreanArmy is up to 80 of 100,
Amazing.
and Cruzz is down to 38.
15 minutes. That is no easy feat. So KoreanArmy was our number 9 seed in the open quali, and Cruzzy was our 1 seed. But right now, it looks like KoreanArmy's got the upper hand.
So you remember where Cruzz put that mine to the right of the mid VP? There's now an LMG-42 sitting there.
Well,
it wiped the Gren squad.
Oh yeah, the mine killed the Gren squad. I'm so glad you brought that to my attention because I did not see that happen. We got a demo on the right VP, and I wonder. Yes, these Grens are probably going to capture that LMG. So that weapon is
these
preserved.
Stuggies are out for blood. I think they can smell it.
Oh my God! Look at them go. Weapons being dropped and picked up immediately. Wow, the barrage just wiped a Gren squad, right?
Yeah, it did. That's -2 Gren squads, and the M4C is here.
Okay.
Well, that flamethrower finally died on the back of that conscript.
Welcome to the tournament. The Soviets called it the M-Chop because they thought the M4C looked like the Cyrillic letters M-Chop, which is MC. So the Lend-Lease Sherman tank is out. Cruzzy's got it in some crazy skin regalia here. He's backing his way into the front line. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
And oh my God,
that tank driver might be drunk.
when KoreanArmy turns this pack, it's going to be real. I mean, we've seen Cruzzy micro Shermans. He is a madman. He has got balls of steel. He always dives deep with Shermans. Whoa, is that was that a shot from the pack that gave this main gun loader injured? I guess that's not all that important as long as the engine's still functioning. Looks like Cruzzy will be able to escape.
Yeah, that was a shot from the Stuggy. They changed it so it no longer has target weak point. It has that crit instead, so it doesn't stun the tank anymore.
Okay. Right, well, the Sherman will get repaired as these guys kind of lick their wounds and set up. Still KoreanArmy with 2 VPs to 1. He's got a 440 to 260 VP lead. Uh-oh, these friends might walk right over this demo! Good night, Grenadiers.
Demo charges. I was just complaining about demo charges last night when I was playing. People were saying I was salty, but oh well. Ooh, Cruzz is sweeping this teller in mid. That's very, very good for him.
Is he going to sweep it? He's not going to sweep it.
He saw it.
He knows
he
it's
could
there,
try to attack ground it, though.
Oh, good grief. That's dangerous, though. I mean, if it goes off now, the conscripts could die. Okay, so the mine will recloak eventually. And there's action on both sides. The Dishka takes a look at that ammo point, but it ain't happening. There's a captured MG-42 covering it behind green cover. It's a pretty good lock on the left. He's going to have to send a tank or some ranged unit to clear that MG out of there. And KoreanArmy just pretty comfortable. He's re-raising the center VP.
He knows he has the majority of the map and a comfortable VP lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him just kind of, bide his time and call in a Tiger and another CP and a half, and then go for the kill with that Tiger.
Yeah, I was just looking at the CPs. He needs 13. He's got 11 3/4 at the moment, so that Tiger looms And I don't think Cruzz is going to want to be running his Shermans around when he's going to need to collect a couple of them to deal with a Tiger. And you know, there's a pack and 2 Stugs.
Yeah, by the time the Tiger comes, Cruzz should have the fuel for 3 total Shermans. Whether or not he'll have the manpower to get there by that time is another question. Oh, he's gonna run into the tiller and lead!
I knew it was there!
Even though
Oh
he
my God, Cruzz! That is so unlike him. Oh, Cruzz, wow, our first huge blunder. Perhaps the nerves of the main event and that big prize is getting to these players. That was a really shocking mistake from Cruzz. Is he going to be able to survive it? Whoa, a big hit kills 4 conscripts.
But
the pack is looking. The pack is looking. Can he see it, though? Oh, there's a shot that kills a bunch more conscripts. He's got an MG providing LOS. That's brilliant. The MG moves forward to provide LOS. Who thinks to do something like that? Now the pack is going to try to set up, although he's down to 2 men.
Oh, he gets sniped.
God, he got
saw that
cleared.
shot?
That pack got cleared by the Sherman. This guy's a hero. It's Fury. Not only did they send a tank, but they sent a tanker as well. This is a pro tanker trying to keep the Sherman alive. Korean Army's going to hop back on the pack. Now he's got a flanking Stug, and the pack is going to finish the job.
And Korean Army actually sacrificed a 3-man Gren squad to pick up that pack to kill
Did he?
the M4C. Now there's a new M4C pushing really hard on this Stuggy on
Which
the right.
has double vet and skirts, looking good. The pack is rotating. I'm sure Cruzz is highly aware of it. Kiting packs and packing kites is what Cruzzies do best.
If he could clear this pack and pick it up with cons, that would really, really help him when that inevitable Tiger comes.
But he doesn't have any infantry anywhere nearby, and he's so low. I mean, he's got a 3-man squad and a 4-man squad. They're reinforcing. Oh, they're coming onto the field not reinforced, actually. He's just purely concentrating on this microing the Sherman versus the pack, and Korean Army has now unlocked the Tiger. He doesn't quite have the manpower. He's definitely got the fuel, so
this M4C is probably going to kill both of those Stugs, actually.
Think he'll get them both? That one is out of control. It pops. Bang. Guys are sent flying. And look at Cruzz go. What did I tell you about balls with this guy?
Yeah, he is not afraid. He needs to not get Faust at all. I think it's pretty inevitable at this point. I think he's trying to just do as much damage as he can with this M4C before it dies.
Why didn't Korean
Army's not going for the Faust?
Why didn't he?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh man, I think these guys are really under a lot of stress. There's some plays that they're just missing. But the pack is going to get it anyway. The pack's going to get the job done. Perhaps not the best retreat path for Cruzz. Maybe he should have tried to skirt around the left, but of course he has no idea if there are mines there. And man, these Shermans, they're coming out one at a time, but he's not going to be able to build any kind of force. And, you know, to kill a Tiger, and, you know, there's still a living Stug and a pack. To kill all that, you're going to need more than one MCHA.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the kind of tanks, like, the way mediums tend to work in this game is you eventually get some kind of critical mass that then is really, really hard to deal with. But, you know, one at a time driving to their deaths, you're never gonna reach that point, unfortunately.
He has made some progress, though. I mean, behind all of this, he has stopped the drain. Cruzz now has 2 victory points, while Korean Army only has 1. This AT gun is so far forward, man. It's really, this Sherman is responsible for protecting this AT gun. Last thing you ever want to do is give team weapons to your opponent. That's just a massive swing in Company of Heroes.
Absolutely, especially with like the German ones or the Austria ones, because the pack and the MG42 are so strong. You never want that to have a 6-man Soviet crew. You know, to be like hitting your head against the desk when that happens.
I mean, Korean Army, I was so curious that not Fausting. I mean, he got what he wanted. He killed the tank without Fausting it, and I'm wondering if that was strategy or if he forgot, because he had enough ammo, but he is low on ammo. So perhaps he wanted to save it. Perhaps he thought he could do the, you know, do the job without the Faust. The inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, that's a good point. He might have figured he could get it. I certainly would have gone for it.
Me too. I would have Fausted it the first chance I got.
I would have Fausted it like 3 times. Just to be like, die, die.
Just overkill. Make sure it's done. Okay, guys, let me show you some Fog of War. This is what Korean Army sees. You can see he's got a bit better map vision as he raises the center VP. And this is what Cruzz sees. No enemies in sight. This Dushka will discover that MG pointing right at its face. It was on attack move, though. He immediately sets up. He's suppressed. Korean Army's MG is in green cover. So So the Dusher's going to lose this battle. Korean Army always, the head of the spear is a sweeper squad. Very smart. Go in there, clear it out. Just make sure there are no mines, no traps waiting. These guys are jostling for position. Trying to get their armies into formation. You know, one of the keys of Company of Heroes is having the right guys in the right places. You want to lead with sweepers and infantry. You want them backed up by MGs. And when your tanks enter the battle, they better have eyes on enemy anti-tank guns. They got to kite that cone. Here's the cone of the pack. You can see the MCHA working around it to the right. He's looking to perhaps cap this right VP. There's only a Gren squad over there. Korean Army's moving his stood to the left.
Close to Tiger, though.
Is he? Yeah, his manpower is 650. It could. Oh, there it is. It's unlocked. You can see the button ready to be pressed as I give you a Ami zoom on the skirted up Stug, and here it comes. Welcome to the first game of the day. I gotta ring my bells for the OCF Flare 919. That's September 19th, the day of our All-Star game. We have a Tiger 1 on the field. Welcome to the program.
That's a beautiful tank and a beautiful skin on it.
Yeah, and a beautiful decal.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been playing with the OCF decal every single time. Every game.
Nice. They're nice, aren't they? TM Dutchie,
yeah, it's
man.
Really cool.
Props. And props to Relic. You know, one thing I never got to mention in the pregame show was that, you know, Dutchie did every little detail of the decal for the 4 armies, but we didn't have access to the Brits, so he couldn't do the decal for the Brits. And guess what? Relic had our back. Relic ported the decal to the Brits. That's
I didn't
cool.
know Rock did it. That's really cool. It's awesome they put it in game too. It's really a nice touch, you know, supporting the community directly like that.
Yeah, I love it when people showing it off in Automatch, showing it off on their streams. So thank you, Relic, not only for including the decal, but for porting it over Brits. We really appreciate it. This Tiger is going to see his first bit of duty. He's going to come in contact with the enemy. Wow, he's kind of triangulated by 2 Shermans and a Ciez anti-tank gun. He's going to back up. He leads the Sherman into a big blow from the pack.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
Yeah, Cruzz was calling in a second Ciez gun, and I think he canceled it to get that second Sherman. I do think if he's ever going to have a chance of winning this game, he's going to need a second Ciez to deal with that Tiger.
Ruh-oh, Cruzzy, don't be driving your Shermans in front of this pack. It eats Shermans for breakfast. What? Oh my God, Cruzzy just feels like he needs to go for it. This Sherman's gonna fall. That's a double vet pack. The conscripts can't even clear it. Does he even have? Let's see. Does Cruzzy have Molotovs?
I don't think he does. I haven't seen him throw any. I know he has 18 aids and healing.
Yeah, he doesn't have Molotovs. He could use them now for clearing packs. That attack was a disaster for Cruzzy. He's almost cleaned out. We're getting to GG territory now, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, that Stuggy just hit that 3 as well. It's been quite a monster to deal with.
And you know, Korean Army's tanks are in tip-top condition, and sure enough, Game 1 is in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Korean Army takes it down. GG. You know, Ciez in Korea. Should we do our Korean GG? GG!
The whole way. It's just like when, you know, they score a goal in soccer, like in Spain and stuff. It's the same thing, but the GG.
Hell yeah. Goal! All right, chalk one up for Korean Army. Our number 1 seed has shocked. Our number 9 seed has shocked our number 1 seed, and we're gonna go to a break. Stick with us, guys. We're gonna see if Korean Army can send Cruzzy down to the losers bracket. We'll be right back after a short break.